Okay, so this is my app. I type in a company or a ticker symbol. It tells me what the stock might be worth. That's it. And that's the whole thing. And I'm not a developer like at all. I've never written any of the code in this. I'm a product manager. This is what this is what built it. This prompt, and it's still going. That's 19,600 characters, and it keeps scrolling and it keeps going. And I didn't write it. I wrote 6 words to be exact, 6. And it took me like a month to realize those 6 words were probably the most product manager thing I ever done in my life. 5 prompts built this app. Let me show you them. Now, real quick, I'm taking this thing all the way from planning to launch in public, in every mistake on camera. And then I'm going to come back and tell you if it made any money or not, even if it's embarrassing. Nobody does that here. Nobody does that part. So please subscribe and like the video if you want to see this. So I'm Christian. I did the product manager thing for a big chunk of my career with a couple of well-known public companies, real software, real users, but I'm not an engineer. I don't write code. I couldn't build this by hand if you gave me a year to do so. So that's the experiment. Can one PM product manager plus an AI actually build and launch a real product out in the open and in public with all of you watching? No team, no engineers, just me making the calls and the AI doing the building. And I gotta say this part clearly because we're talking about stocks. This is an educational tool and it's not financial advice. It answers one question: what might this company be worth? And that's all it does. It's never going to tell you to buy or sell anything. I'll say it again at the end. Okay, so before any of this, there was a spreadsheet, right? I've been using it for a while. I created it, and it's to figure out what a stock price is actually worth. 5 different valuation methods in the spreadsheet. 20-year discount cash flow. We have 10-year discounted earnings, price to book, price to sales, and you do it all by hand. You go find the free cash flow, you go find the debt, the cash, the outstanding share count, you type it all in, every ticker, every single time. And here's the thing I should probably be embarrassed about, but it's the actual story. I did not do any customer research. I did not do any interview with anybody. I was the customer. I had a spreadsheet. I hated using it and I wanted to stop using it. So on June 13th, 2026, I open up the AI chat and I go, here's my spreadsheet. Can you take these formulas? That's it. That's where this starts. Not a plan. It's just a chore I was sick of, and that was part of the problem. So we talked for about an hour, my engineer and I, in this case AI, and I really underestimated this part at the time. I said, what if you just type a ticker and it pulls all the numbers itself? Cool, fine. Then I said this, and I'm reading it exactly how I typed it, typos and everything. Okay, we can just perhaps have that disclaimer, not real time data, but can you post the date on those data? And then like one message later, perhaps we can also include all of those different fields included in the Excel spreadsheet to build trust within the traders or the investors. Show how old the data is, show every field, build trust. Look at when I said that, June 13, 2026, There's no code, there's no app, there's nothing. That's the honest thing my whole product runs on. The thing that makes it different from everybody else. And it's message 3 to a robot at like 11 p.m. at night. And then after about an hour of that, I type 6 words. I'm ready. Create a comprehensive prompt for Claude code. And it gave me that. 19,600 characters, file structure, the color codes, wireframes for every screen, all 5 valuation formulas written out, the exact JSON the server is supposed to spit back, error handling, loading states. I pasted it into Claude Code, and Claude Code built the app. Now, okay, for 15 years, this was literally my job. You write a PRD, product requirement documents. It's the thing you write before anybody builds anything, right? So that engineering and design and me are all making the same product decision, all in alignment. And that was a job. That's a PRD. That one thing on your screen, that's just what that, that's what that was. And I didn't clock it. I didn't clock that PRD in the beginning for a month because I didn't type it. And it went into a terminal instead of Confluence or Jira. And I called it a build prompt. I've been going around telling people I skipped the PRD with this app, but I didn't. I didn't skip anything. I just didn't write it down. That's the beauty about working with AI, right? I decided it and the AI typed it in as long as I asked AI to document the history of everything. Document the PRD, document the history of the app that we're building, document the roadmap, document the vision. In this case, document our PRD. And that's it, okay? That's the whole thing right there. The PRD didn't lie. It moved. It's not a document you write to get 12 people on the same page anymore. It's the handoff between 2 AIs. I think it through with one, it writes the spec. I hand the spec to the other one, and that one can build it. That makes sense. The PRD is the one thing that crosses the gap. Every decision in those 19,000 characters was mine, and not one of the words was. Prompt 2, and this one only exists because version 1 cost me money. So the original spec had the AI going out and web searching for the financial data. And it worked, kind of. Then I looked at my build, or I looked at my bill, my expenses, and look, it charged me almost $1 to query a ticker, an analysis. Typo and all, $1 to fail to value on one stock because it kept searching and reading full pages and retrying, burning tokens on data it never actually got. So we switched to a real financial data API. And then I hit this. It looks like I need at least a starter pager for $19 per month with FMP. That would change our pricing drastically to be profitable. $19 a month before I have a single customer. And that's not a coding problem. That's a PM doing unit economics on a product that doesn't exist yet. That's the job. So I killed it. And that's prompt 2, which is I see this getting expensive and unprofitable. Let's change our approach. Here's a prompt and then 25,000 characters. Third data source, which is Yahoo Finance. It's free, no key, API key. Cost per analysis went from about $1 to about a couple of cents. And there's one prompt in here I want you to steal because it's the most useful thing I did all month. and it's 4 lines. And here it is. Before trying to analyze anything, add a test debug route that just calls the API for MSFT, which is Microsoft, and returns the raw JSON. I want to see exactly what it's returning before Claude touches it. Check the data before the expensive part runs. Don't let the AI reason over garbage and then pay for it, right? That's worth more than any prompt engineering trick I could give you today. Prompt 3, July 4th, 2026. Would have known that I was working on 4th of July, but 5 in the morning, because apparently that's who I am now. I run SpaceX SPCX through it, that ticker in the app. That's fully functional. And it tells me SpaceX is worth $1.26, roughly around there, against a real price of 162, I believe, at that time. 11,471% overvalued. So I wrote prompt 3, 6,500 characters, and it opens like an actual bug report. Here's what I ran, and here's what I got. Here's what I think broke. 2 problems. There's a unit bug where a growth rate got used as decimal instead of percentage. The 100 times bug, and then underneath that, the real one. The data was lying to me. The numbers didn't add up against each other, and my app just went ahead and gave a confident answer anyway. Hence, I tried to delete the best feature in my app because it was inconvenient for a first video in this channel. And I thought that was the wrong thing to do. And here's what I typed. I ran it and it didn't reconcile. I can't show this in my first YouTube video. Can we do option 1 you mentioned earlier so a user can manually update a number in a field? What do you think? Right? Again, I said I can't show this in my first YouTube video. Well, my first instinct wasn't my app is wrong. It was, this looked bad on camera. Can we add a box where I type over it? I wanted a way to make the number look right. What saved me? That thing from June 13. Show the data's age, show every field, build trust with customers. It was already in the product. And you can't hold build trust in one hand and let me type over the number in the other. So the honest version won. Not because I'm a good person, because I wrote the principle down before I had a reason to break it. And the thing I tried to hide in now is the best feature in the app. It says this doesn't reconcile. I'm not giving you a confident number. Nobody else does that at any price. It's the whole moat, and I tried to delete it because it was inconvenient for a video, and I'm glad I didn't. Prompt 4 is the business model. 3,000 characters on what's free and what isn't. Free is the verdict. The bit where a stranger sees a real answer, that's the hook. You never hide the hook. Paid is the debt, the models, saving, alerts. That's a pricing conversation. The AI didn't decide any of that. And prompt 5. I'm going to read this one exactly because the entire thesis of this channel is sitting inside my own prompt, and I didn't even notice at the time. Here it is. Is it possible to create a master manual that goes over the architecture of what we're building here in detail? I'm a product manager, not a developer, but I want to create a manual on the developer side of things. I want to know each detail, things we did and why. Each detail thing we did and why. That's it. That's the whole prompt. And here's what happened after that. And this is the part that genuinely surprised me when I went back and counted the chart. That was the last big prompt I ever wrote. After it, 370 more prompts, not one of them in over 843 characters, not one. And in those 378, I built accounts, login, and Stripe, the webhooks, the free trial, the watch list, the price alerts, push notifications to my actual phone, the installable app, PWA, and a full rename and domain migration in one night. The entire paid half of this product with prompts that are basically text messages. Because once the docs existed, I didn't have to explain anything anymore. I could say, add Stripe, checkout, in about 20 words, and it already knew the architecture. AI knew the file structure. It knew how the plan gating worked. It just read the annual or the manual first. So the last big prompt I ever wrote was the one that made big prompts really unnecessary. And I should be straight with you about something. If you came here looking for my amazing Stripe prompt, well, it doesn't exist. There isn't one. There is no big prompt for auth either, authorization either, or for the alerts. I went back and looked. Auth is 45 prompts, and the median one is about 850 characters. Alerts is about 100. That's it. That's what building the whole business, half my product actually look like. 800 character text messages over and over. The docs did the explaining. I just did the deciding. So here's what a month of this actually looks like. 443 prompts. And the medium one, the middle one, is 69 characters. 38% of everything I type is under 50 characters. It's restart the server, it's yes, it's okay, implement. At one point I typed found it and even misspelled it. 5 prompts over 2,000 characters, 5 out of 443. 5 specs, 438 little ones. And honestly, that's the job. You dump everything into the thinking up front, and then the rest is cheap. The big prompts are the product management. The little ones are just a stand-up. Now, a couple of things before I go. Nobody tells me anymore. On a real team, I had a lead engineer, a lead designer who look at my idea and go, Christian, that's a bad idea. Here's exactly why. AI doesn't do that. It agrees with you. The best feedback this product has ever gotten came from my wife walking past my screen, and that's not a system, that's luck. And my discovery only works because I'm the customer. I had the spreadsheet. I knew the chore. The second I build something for somebody who isn't me, the whole thing falls apart. Quietly. You don't get an error message that says, hey, you're building the wrong thing. When I looked at the old product process, I saw meetings and paperwork and dead time. And a lot of it was kind of an overhead, but some of that friction was doing a lot of work quietly, and I couldn't see it. I couldn't cut the fat and keep the muscle. I cut both. I just only noticed the fat was gone. And one thing for the PMs watching this, if you work at a real company, still write the PRD. I'm serious. I only got to skip the meeting version of it because I didn't have coworkers now. That's not a strategy. That's just my situation here. New way for the paperwork, old way for the people. Now builders, if you want early access, comment early access below, and also check the description. There's a founding member pricing thing for the people, first 50 people who signs up through this. Next time, builders, we're going to talk about the backlog, what happens to epics and user stories with one sentence can generate all of them. Where it still needs a human though, so it doesn't just confidently make a mess. And one more time, because I mean it, educational tool, not financial advice. See you builders in the next one.